probably not a better way to finish up the afternoon than to have one of the area's finest join us here, and that's David Ragan, and he's driving the number 18 M&M's Crispy Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. And David, as I told you a second ago, you look good in that hat. And how did the car handle for you out there this afternoon? And certainly a lot's happened over the past week or so. So maybe just touch on those two things for me, if you would.
Well, yeah, thank you guys. Good to see everybody. Yeah, I mean, today was great, really uneventful, and just learning the Joe Gibbs Racing bunch and their process. How they conduct business on a practice day and a race day. So we were fortunate to have a few hours today where we could hot lap our M&M's Camry and just really enjoyed getting to the racetrack. It had been a busy week, and working through a lot of the details. And thoughts are with Kyle this evening and his wife Sam as they're back home. And certainly I'll probably give Kyle a call this evening and touch base with him. It's certainly his team and his program, and I'm fortunate to have the great opportunity to fill in for a little while. And it was good. Atlanta Motor Speedway is one of my favorite tracks to come to for a lot of reasons, but the racetrack's in great shape. Got a lot of speed. The tires fall off throughout the run, so a lot of characteristics that makes it fun to drive. So a lot of fun to hit the track today. The weather worked out just perfect, and I was glad to make a few laps for sure.
Take questions now for David. We'll start over here to the far right, Jeff Gluck, and why not go to Bob Pockers next?
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. David, how did this all come about for you? I mean, what was the timeline like? How was it to work through front row also, and all those logistics? Were there times that you were like, I don't know if this is going to work? Because it seemed like your name was thrown in, and then it was up in the air. Can you take us through kind of all that?
Yeah, well, our situation at front row this year was a little iffy on whether we were going to be able to run the entire schedule. We had some good sponsorship with some of our partners, CSX and KFC for the Daytona 500, but I got a call from one of the management at Joe Gibbs Racing Monday afternoon, and they just asked if I had any interest in talking to them, and they had heard that I wasn't committed, a firm commitment for the full entire Sprint Cup season. So, I told them that I would have some interest if we could get all the parties to mutually agree on a package that would benefit us all. And so, a big shout out to CSX and certainly Front Row Motorsports, Ford Motor Company, and the Joe Gibbs folks and M&M's and Toyota for all kind of making it happen. Certainly this is an unfortunate situation where, their guy is injured, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to get in one of the premier rides in our sport for a little while to kind of see where I stand in my career as a driver, and it's been a few years since I've been with one of the larger teams. So I'm grateful that all the parties involved really worked hard, and that all can benefit us in a lot of different ways. So thankful to them for that. And it all really happened quick. Monday night and Tuesday, obviously, to be down here a day early for a practice session. A lot of the people involved had to have some give and take, and it worked out great.
Let's go to Bob, and then we'll go to Nate Ryan.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. The release said you'll be in the car several weeks. Is there a maximum number of weeks that you can run for them before having to go back to front row? And then can you just talk about the dynamic of, starting a season not even knowing that you're going to go, whether you're going to run every race, to now, possibly, having a shot to get in the chase and everything?
I think as a driver, you just got to take it week by week and race by race. And, as far as the length of time that Kyle will be out, I don't think anyone really knows that yet. And that's probably a good question for the Gibbs folks. And I know for the next several weeks, I'll be in the 18 car. I don't know that we have a really hard time frame on it just yet. But there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, and certainly it all goes back to how quickly Kyle can heal up and get back in driving form. So as far as my situation with the outlook for the entire season, it is different when you are driving for a different team and you realize that the second half of the season you're going to be running with another group of cars, and it may be a situation where you get a win and could get into the chase. But let's not count our chickens before they hatch. I mean, that's a great scenario that would if it play out, would be a lot of fun and something cool to talk about. But, Atlanta Motor Speedway is obviously the next race, and looking forward to 500 miles here on Sunday and really just taking it race by race. And I'm sure over the next few weeks we'll get a better feel for kind of the time frame on Kyle's return and, what the expectations are going for, the second half of the year.
Go over here far left, Nate.
On your left, David. Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Kind of following up on what Bob and Jeff were asking there. What was Front Row's reaction when you brought this? Is a very unique arrangement. What was the team's reaction when you brought this to them? And are you confident that this is going to work out and you'll just go back to them whenever this period is over?
They were a little surprised when I first brought it up, but you look at my situation and not knowing exactly what our schedule is going to look like this year. As a race car driver, I had to look at my career and my opportunities, and this was something that I couldn't let pass. And again, I'm very fortunate that our team owner, Bob Jenkins and Jerry Freeze, were open to the idea. I think they're happy for me to be in a situation with quality people, quality team, but also to remember where I came from. Certainly, the Front Row Motorsports team has been a great spot for me the last few years, and if it were a situation where I was committed to a full-time program and we had a full-time sponsor, it would have been something that I couldn't have made happen. So the stars just aligned right. Everyone with CSX was really open to moving a few of their races to some different dates to accommodate. And I think it can be a good thing for everyone. I'm certainly going to learn a lot and really work hard to be a better driver and a good teammate these next several weeks. And I think I'll only be better when I get back in that 34 car later on this year. So, my job is to do the best job that I can for Joe Gibbs Racing and M&M's and Toyota. And that's what I intend to do. And when Kyle's back, he's certainly the man. And our sport's better with him. NASCAR, Sprint Cup Series Racing, it needs Kyle Busch out here on the racetrack. So when he's back, I'll return to the 34 car with CSX and hopefully be a better driver for my experience here.
Let's go to Claire B. Lang. Right there. Raise your hand, Claire. Right there, Dana. Right there.
And that bright yellow shirt.
Yes, raincoat.
Quick question. Is there more nerves or a different feeling to step into someone else's car than there would be to take on an opportunity in the car that you're used to just because you don't want to mess it up?
It is a different feeling. I don't know that I would call it more nervousness or you can't really describe the amount of pressure because there's a lot of pressure regardless of what car you're driving. But absolutely, working with a different team, working with a different group of guys, manufacturer, there are just a lot of newness that's around it. So it's different, but it's also a challenge that I'm up for, and it'll only make me smarter and better to work with different people. And anytime you can get an opportunity to work with some really smart people that go about the weekend maybe in a different way, it only gives me a better experience on what's going on. And so I'm not really putting any more pressure on me, but it is something that I pay attention to. And I do want to do a good job. I want to take care of the race car and want to give good feedback. And it's something that, M&M's and Toyota, when Kyle Busch is back, they want a top-tier ride where he can get back in and win. So we've got to keep learning with the new rules package and being a good teammate to the three other guys at Joe Gibbs Racing. And so no more pressure, really, but definitely things that I'll pay attention to make sure that I don't make any dumb mistakes.
Stan, and then finish with Jeff and Bob. Come on, Chris. Actually, we'll finish with Chris. Go ahead.
Stan Creekmore with Competition Plus. You obviously benefit tremendously from this opportunity. How does your team benefit from letting you take this opportunity?
Well, I certainly can benefit, by a lot of ways, but I think our team can benefit by, allowing one of their drivers to go out and again, work with a new group of guys, race for one of the top-tier teams, have some great teammates, and it's only going to they're going to push me to be a better driver. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to be a better driver behind the wheel of whatever car that I'm racing this fall, next season, the following season. From CSX's standpoint, regardless of what car I drive, whether it's a rental car or a race car, I'm an advocate for playing it safe around railroad tracks, and their safety campaign that they put a lot of effort into. And so there's probably a new fan base that I'll touch, maybe some new people just by being in here this evening talking to you guys. So a lot of people can benefit from it in a lot of different ways. And at the end of the day, you're doing a favor for a friend in the garage, for another team, and it's something that if we all strategically work together, that it can benefit us all in a lot of ways.
Bob Pockris, you have another question? Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff Gluck.
I'm curious about the reaction from your friends and family, because this is such a unique situation. What's their reaction been? And then your wife is really close friends with Samantha. Is that correct? And
yep. My friends and family have been very supportive, and certainly they've asked a lot of questions, some of the same questions that you guys asked. How did it all come about and what happened? But I think everyone's genuinely excited. Obviously, it is a great opportunity, and it's no secret that the Gibbs organization is one of the top organizations in NASCAR racing and all the divisions, and Toyota Motor Company, the effort that they put into this sport, and there's a lot of fans that are fans of that M&M's Camry, and so to help a friend out. Kyle's a good friend of mine, and I want to do a good job for him, and I feel like that if I can do a good job for that team, give him maybe something different to think about, and upon Kyle's return, he can get into the 18 car and pick up where he left off last season. I think that would be a job well done, and I think that's the way I look at it. Certainly, I want to go out and run as fast as I can, as smart as I can, and try to win every race. But if I can leave that team in a good situation so Kyle can get back in and not miss a beat, I think that'll be a job well done. And, my family will have some fun seeing me in a different fire suit and a different number. And I'm sure, some folks will be confused for a few weeks as to what's going on. But, things do change in our sport sometimes. And it's a great opportunity to work with, a great owner like Coach Gibbs and his family and get to spend some time with them. It's something that I couldn't have passed up.
Bob?
Bob Pockris, ESPN. Was there anything that you noticed today that you're like, wow, this is great to have, just being part of a big and very well-funded organization compared to what you have at Front Row, which is a little bit underfunded?
They've got a good stash of M&Ms in the hauler. That's always a plus. A few of my cousins and nieces have reached out to me about bringing them a few M&Ms. So, obviously the larger the team, they're a four-car team with great sponsors and great support. They've just got a lot more resources, a lot more tools. You described the test session today with that acquisition on the race car, a couple of extra engineers per team. The information that you can acquire in just a few short hours is a lot. It's something that as a smaller organization you can't get that information as quick today. So I think the learning curve will be a little quicker. Obviously, it's tough to judge the race cars this year compared to last year because the engine change, the aero platform change. Goodyear's adjusting the tires, so it won't be a fair comparison car to car, year to year. But just the amount of very, very smart people, resources that Toyota gives to Joe Gibbs Racing, and they've got some very, very smart people. It's things that you can. It opens a lot more doors throughout a course of a weekend. You can learn a lot more. So. Today's test was very important, and it'll help some over the next few weeks. And just the amount of information that you can collect in a few short hours with four teams is really outstanding. It's a lot.
Final question right here, Chris.
Chris Knight, catchfence.com. David, can you talk about how rewarding it was for Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards to go to bat and say to Joe Gibbs Racing that you were a good fit for the 18 ride? And have you given any suggestions to Front Row on who to put in the 34 past this weekend?
I think that it certainly played a key role in Carl and Matt putting in a good word for me, and Kyle and Denny. Obviously, I was teammates for a few years with Carl and Matt, and really had a good relationship with them. And I think that they've seen that transition from one team to another, and so I don't think I would be in the 18 M&M's Camry without their help. And then certainly Kyle giving a recommendation, and Denny, we've all got to work together. So grateful for that. And then as far as the 34 car, I think that it's a perfect fit to have, Joe Nemechek in this weekend. He's a veteran of our sport, a fan favorite. The CSX folks are really going to enjoy getting to know him and having some fun. And as far as going for the next few races or however long I'll be out, I don't really know what their strategy is. I know a few guys have reached out to them, and they've got a couple of different scenarios to play out. So I will certainly throw a recommendation out, and just like Kyle wants me to take care of his car while he's out, I want whoever's in that car to take care of that program while I'm out for a few weeks. So that's something we'll probably talk about next week. This week was kind of a blur. It all happened really fast, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit this weekend. Yeah, it's always funny how that works out. If you get into an argument and a dispute one week, you typically ride in the truck with one another after driver intros. And, the 34 car and the 18 car were parked next to each other in the garage. So I don't know if NASCAR has anything to do with that, but somehow it always works out that way.
Yeah, I can't tell you if we do or don't, David.
Yeah.
But listen, David, it's good having you in here. Good luck this weekend. And like I said, it's a good story having you drive that 18 car, and I know you'll do it proud.
Everybody take easy on those donuts over there. You guys
take some home with you, David.
I have been known to steal some food from the media center on occasion, so thank you.
Thank you.